everybody, and welcome to Show and Tell. This is our second week using this new streaming service, which is very exciting. And so far, so good. We're going to check in with some Adafruit folks, and then they'll drop out, and we'll get some other folks from the community coming by to show off what they're hacking, soldering, sewing, coding, crafting. We'd love to see it here on the Show and Tell. We're broadcasting from the Adafruit factory, but all y'all are coming here from around the world. It's so amazing. Let's start off with Brent. You want to kick it off?
Yeah, sure. I'm on, right?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, cool. I've never used the software. So this past week, I've been working on a Google Cloud IoT service. So it's part of Google Cloud's integration suite, and they allow IoT devices. So now your CircuitPython device, like a PyPortal, will be able to talk with Google's IoT service, and Google's Cloud service integrates with that. So you can bring in things like machine learning or data analytics to all of the data that you're pulling in, and it will allow you to set up IoT devices with Google Cloud really, really quickly. And a few things happen with this. One, we now have an RSA library for CircuitPython, so you can generate RSA keys, and you can also do decryption of RSA and encryption, and you can hash and decode and encode. You can do everything that you want to with encryption in CircuitPython so far. It's a little bit slow, but that's to be expected, and it'll probably get sped up as we go. And I've also been fixing Mini MPTT. If you haven't used it before, it's a MQTT library for CircuitPython, and it's slowly getting better. And you can use it with your MQTT broker or a Google broker or our Adafruit IO broker, and it's a really simple library for CircuitPython.
Very exciting. Thanks for the update, Brent. People will be looking for that. We'll be sure to do a guide.
I can share my screen as well, I think, right?
No.
But do you want to try? Go ahead.
I could try. Yeah, my entire screen share.
Okay.
Does that work? Yeah. So you could. So I have CircuitPython running on the right-hand side, and Google's log viewer on the left, and this is running Mini MQTT, and then the IoT core library and the JWT library and all the libraries that it uses to connect, and it establishes a secure connection, and then it sends a publish, and it actually stays alive. There's a pull request that I haven't merged in yet that allows us to stay connected to the server, and you could do hello CircuitPython from their interface, and it'll send it back. I haven't done parsing yet to make it look pretty, but it will send it to the right-hand side. And then you can also manage your device from their dashboard, or if you're building a website, you can send it commands from the website, or you can update the configuration of the device. So if you want the LED to be a certain color, or if you're building a sensor and you want to turn certain parts of the sensor node on or off, like if you have a temperature sensor, or if you have a humidity sensor, you could update the configuration and send it a configuration that it will then read, and then you can readjust it in your code. And that's what I'm working on.
That's a lot. All right, thanks for the update, Brent. You're always pushing the boundaries of IoT this summer. Okay, next up, let's check in with JP.
Hey, all right. So am I a face or am I a screen right now?
You're a face right now.
Okay, there I am. Hi. So I'm working on something that I want to show on my screen in a second, and it is a mouse emulator running on a circuit playground using make code to pre-program in essentially some formulas for some sine waves and some circles and some other shapes that have editable parameters, so that it's as if I can draw a circle with a mouse a heck of a lot better than I really can in real life when I'm using a painting program like Photoshop or something like that. So I'm going to try to share a screen, and if you can see me and it at the same time, that's cool. If you can just see it, that works as well. So I've got some, this is like a painting website I found, Sketchpad, Sketch.io. And so I have a calligraphy brush, so angle matters on this. And I'm going to go ahead and press a button on my Circuit Playground Express, and it's going to emulate the mouse movement of a circle. And so there, it's giving me this cool calligraphy circle. I can adjust the radius just by tapping one of the cap sensors on my Circuit Playground Express. So now I have a little smaller circle. And then I've got the B button set up as a sine wave there, and I can just hit them and draw as many as I want. And now I've hit a cap sensor to adjust the period, so it's a much, much tighter period on it. So I'm going to be showing this on my show tomorrow, and you can look at how I've created the formulas. Some involved me going and finding out formulas for plotting things like circles and sine waves, and then piecing together that through individual math blocks inside of make code, which is pretty cool. And then if I can stop sharing real quick, I'll show a little bonus thing. Let's see. So this is a find I had, minus some of the wires and junk up here, but I found this at a thrift store yesterday, and I bought it for $1.09, including tax. And it's a flash holder from an old camera. The brand was called CalArt, and they mounted them on Graflex cameras, which is the same brand of flash holder that people make lightsabers from. In fact, that's the one that the prop builders did some of the lightsabers in the original Star Wars from. And so I was really excited to find this, and it essentially amounts to a 3C battery holder, and it's got a really great little mechanism in here for opening and pulling it out. The original batteries were in it, and they actually still work, which kind of blew me away because they're from 1947, according to the label on the side there. I don't know how long they'll last, but they do have a charge.
Expiration dates are a lie.
Back when like you were allowed to use all these toxic chemicals, I mean, they were really effective.
Yeah, right. There's probably no chance I'm going to survive having touched that. And what I did is I poked around, and I found that there was one little pair of plugs that some pins would go in that was essentially an on-off switch. And the top there, I've actually got nothing touching, but I'm coming out a couple of these sort of bayonet plugs into a little motor there, and I have an always-on LED. So there's always this roughly 4 volts coming out here. And then when I flip this little switch I added, I've got one of our little high-speed sort of CD motors in there. Let's see, am I shorting it? I'm doing something bad. There we go. So that's probably not what I'll ultimately use it for, but it's exciting to think that I've got a really nice C battery holder that'll give me roughly the voltage that a lot of our microcontrollers run off of. So check your thrift stores. You never know what you'll find.
All right. Thanks for the cool thrift store find, JP. All right. Next up, let's go to Erin. What beautiful gems are you crafting?
I am up to my eyeballs in crystals this week. I'm going to the Labyrinth of Jareth, which is a labyrinth-themed costume ball in LA this weekend. So I'm very excited. I've been working real hard on my costume. And one of the things that I made is this little crystal bowl. And I'm just going to turn it on here. It's got a bunch of my paper crafted crystal gems. I did a tutorial about how to build these things a few weeks ago, but updated it so that they're not symmetrical anymore, and they're a little bit more sort of almost natural looking. And they're super fun. I have just a remote control. I have a waterproof light inside of here. It's going to be floating in a fountain and just be a little crystal water element. This is cool. It's made out of just aluminum foil and expanding foam, as well as these like cellophane crystals, but it looks just really top notch. Like I'm delighted with how it turned out.
Okay.
And then I wanted to show just one more thing.
Oh, sure.
Part of my costume that I'm going to be wearing. I've been working hard on making this incredible dragon headdress. So same kind of cellophane crystals on the top. And then I've got NeoPixels inside, and underneath I 3D printed some horns. And then this is a little resin dragon that I found at a craft fair. And I'm just having lots of fun making this costume bigger and brighter and better and more exciting. So that's where I've got
look at the hair, the silver hair. Yeah, you're definitely going to be the most fantasy of anybody.
I don't know. It's LA, so like the costumes are going to be top notch. But I
don't know. I think you're going to have the best costume.
Yeah, maybe so. I hope so.
You're going to have the best LEDs for sure. People don't know the skills that you have with adding NeoPixels.
Hopefully it'll be fun. Yeah, and I showed the big crystal staff that I made last week, and that's also for the same event. So the crystal staff, the crystal dragon headdress is all going to go together, and I've got a couple more things that I've been working on as well, which I'll probably show next time.
Next week, I know. You got to keep them on the edge here. You can't show all of your secrets, otherwise it's not very labyrinthy. Okay, all right. Next up, let's go to Melissa. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. So I've been working on updating a lot of display I/O guides. I have like 3 more left. And so I've been adding this little demo that I wrote. And this is one of the ones I'm working on next. Let's see if I can just kind of...
Hello world.
Yeah, so it draws a green background, a purple box, and then it says hello world in the middle. And so it's a little bit better than just the red rectangle that was shown before. And so I just have this display, and then I have these two displays to do as well.
All right, you're almost done.
Yes.
So exciting. So if people want to use CircuitPython with any of our displays, they now, all but those few products have guide pages that you've written that tell people exactly how to get up and running with the REPL. You can draw shapes, text, fonts, all the great display stuff that we've been adding over the last year.
Yeah, and we just added the 2-inch display guide and the 1.3-inch and the updated 1.54-inch guides.
Okay. All right, we'll keep rocking. Next up, Noe and Pedro.
Hey, folks. How's everybody doing?
Hey, happy summer.
Happy summer. So this week, we thought we'd put some NeoPixel LEDs in our hat, particularly my hat, because I'm a fan of hats. And we are using the NRF52840. So this is Bluetooth. Let me turn it on. So I'm using the Bluefruit LE connector.
Oh, how handy.
Yes. So I'll hit the button. I just hit the button number 1. And now we got some rainbows. Excellent. This is actually the exact same code that's from Erin.crystal and Dan Halbert, and I think Philip Burgess worked on it as well. So it's a really good piece of demo code for triggering different LED animations. It's using the fancy LED library. And you can also use the color picker, so you can pick some solid colors, like this, for example.
Okay.
And what's nice about that is I can change the intensity of it. So if I want it a little bit lower, it's really handy. It was really handy because over the weekend we took a quick trip to Disney, and I brought the hat, and lots of people liked it and asked where I got it. So
so then you guys were inspired to do even more. You're doing mouse ears.
Yeah, we're doing the whole range of cool stuff. Hey, Phil, let's try to do a share screen.
Yeah, sure.
And it looks like can do this one. Does that work?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So this is like QuickTime, and it's just using that second camera, so you can see me and this camera. It worked. Look at that. So I'm in the sidebar, right? You can see me moving my head.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, it worked. I didn't know if that worked.
Maybe.
Like using 2 cameras at the same time. We can just use.
Yeah, we can see your hat, and it's very bright, so it's definitely.
Right, and
so for anybody else, it's just using QuickTime, and you're using the input from the separate camera.
Right, because there's 2 webcams that are different, 2 different webcams, and I can play with the aperture a little bit later, but that's what we have so far.
Well, it looks great. I mean, it's just cool that we're doing these projects in CircuitPython, not Arduino. So it's
Yes, it was really easy to kind of change it, and now with iOS stuff, we can change it on our mobile devices.
Yay.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll show off some video on the show later, and also people can check out the 3D Hangouts video.
Oh yeah.
Well.
And we can start adding some more folks here.
Let's add Chris, Juan.
If Melissa and Pedro can drop, we'll keep getting people in.
Click Leave Studio. So you actually.
Yeah. So next, Phil B.
Okay, Phil B. Welcome.
Hello there. Let me change cameras here. See if this works. Yes, eyeballs. You see eyeballs there?
Yes, we see them.
I've shown the eyeballs board before. The finished board for that just showed up in the shop, not available yet. But funny story, I wanted to share. The artwork on the finished board that B.monster designed, there was a little cat nose here at the bridge of the nose. And we did some work on the board so that we had the exposed the gold in certain places on the teeth and the nose. And Lady Ada was just about to send this board out to be manufactured. And I said, people are going to ask if the nose is boopable. And
you're right. And I was like, man, that's going to be the #1 question.
Yeah. Not just people are going to ask. It's like everything's going to stop and people are going to ask that. And anyway, as it turns out, one of these connectors over here, there's an analog sensor line going across the board right past that middle. And like in the last 5 minutes before this went to be manufactured, she like redesigned it. So the little cute cat nose on there is a capacitive touchpad. And I did some stuff with the software where if you're touching the, you'll be able to boop the nose. That's what I'm getting at.
Basically, boopable nose technology is here. Everyone just has to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's happened.
That's what it's all been leading up to. Like the whole Arduino thing, from all the years ago, It has all led to this, the boopable cat notice.
Yeah, so we'll show that soon. I have to actually test your code out, but yeah, it was super fun I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Let's just add that as a capacitive touchpad, and it was just so easy to, we had existing libraries and code to do it, and then you made the boop nodes do something. You made it blink because you already had blinking code.
Yeah,
and it was a team effort. Booping is not just something you do alone. You do it together as a community.
So when you see Tim Cook showing us the next Apple keynote, and then later on Samsung making the exact same boopable thing for phones, you saw it here first at Adafruit.
Galaxy Boop.
Yeah.
It just how close this board was to being manufactured.
That would have been so tragic, but luckily we together.
Yeah, I mean, it was seconds before this thing was going to be made. Features were being added.
And we did them. All right. Thanks for the boop update.
Sure.
Let's go to Joey.
Next up, Joey.
Hi, guys.
Oh, hey, welcome. We can hear you great.
Great.
What are you up to?
So I came on a few months ago talking about a Unicode version of the Adafruit graphics library to display the languages of the world. I wanted to make a thing that could read books in all the languages of the world, and I finally got the PCB back and I made it.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, this kind of took over Twitter briefly. Thanks for that. It's normally not so great on the Twitters. I really like that everyone was like, they could start imagining what they wanted to do with this.
Totally. So yeah, I'll show you the back. I'm running it on a Feather M4 Express. It's got a little spot for an SD card. I put a headphone jack on just because I figured, there may be interesting audio kind of features. I've just beeped with it so far. But then I just wanted to show the languages. So, because it's Unicode, you can get things like the accent on the E and Antoine's name. But you can also do things like Cyrillic scripts.
Wow.
Here I've got most of the basic multilingual plane is Chinese, Japanese, Korean ideographs. Tough to see, but and then I finally got right to left support working. So this is the 1001 Nights, and Arabic takes a little longer to render, but there you have it, kind of right to left.
Wow, that looks beautiful.
It's really fun. It's my goal is I've open sourced the PCB. I'm waiting on Rev 2 because I had a couple of errors I had to work on. But then the other piece that I really, really like, which y'all have done, is these JST ports that y'all put on the Pi Badge and the Pi Gamer.
Yeah.
It's super fun for just the idea of extending things out. So I have another one rigged up here. I put a NeoPixel strip and a gesture sensor so that I can just
yeah.
Lights on.
Yeah, accessibility is built in with this as well, because you can do things like page turn, and you can light it up without even touching the device.
So yeah, it's fun, and I can imagine people doing other things with it, like plug a environmental sensor in, make it into a calendar with it's a cool hackable extensible thing. So I'm got a lot more software to write for it, but that's what I've been hacking on.
Okay.
Well, we just added Circuit Python support for e-inks as well. So chat with Scott on Discord, and if that's the 4.2-inch e-ink display, we have support for that as well. And then you can use the entire font, the full Unicode font support that we have in Circuit Python to update the text, and that could be kind of interesting as well because you can have custom fonts.
Totally.
All right.
Okay. Super cool project.
Nice work.
Okay, next up we're going to go to Chris.
All right, Chris. GitHub.com/Chris.
So can you hear me?
Yeah, we can see you've got some stuff hanging on the wall.
Yeah, I like to make wall-hanging Raspberry Pi computer systems. This style I call CompuCanvas because I'm using an art canvas, the kind you could paint on, but
that's a good idea.
It's computers on canvas instead of paint on canvas.
Yeah.
I'll point out a few things about them and then pull one off and show you up closer. But I always try to use power over Ethernet so that you have one wire coming in and power and Ethernet. This is a splitter you sell. It gives you 2.4 amps to the Raspberry Pi, so that's really good when you have a bunch of USB devices plugged in. I try to put a speaker in every one. This one has the drum hat, the Pi Moroni drum hat, so maybe you can hear that.
Yeah.
And the other one has the piano hat. I can maybe reach it.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so you can do that. Let me take this one down if I can. This is model SKTN4, which stands for skeleton thing number 4. If I can get it close to the camera here.
So you get some robotic parts to hold it together, and then you got a couple boards plugged in.
Yeah, the skeletal pieces are from thing that Seed Studio used to sell called the skeleton box, and so I've made it like into a skeleton. You have the Pi Portal and the Halloween. There are actually 3 Circuit Python devices in here. You can't tell. Let me turn this one around. There's a Circuit Playground Express in the back. I don't have the lights pumped up quite enough to see it from the front.
What I like
Sorry,
is,
I lost my
it's like the
headset there.
Raspberry Pi is just a computer, so you can just plug dev boards into it. It's like it's a computer.
I lost my headset, but I wanted to point out I really like the circular panel mount adapters.
I love them.
You can cut a hole in the canvas, trace it, cut it. It's real easy. Also, on the Pi Portal, there's this ribbon cable adapter. And so behind the Pi, I'm using the circular panel mount cable connected to the ribbon cable. So that's how the Pi Portal is connected to the Raspberry Pi. So I could show you the other one if you have time, or maybe another time.
You can keep it to a minute, then we can get everyone in and then set up for the next.
Okay. Oops, I got to get this one back up. So this one has the Halloween and a Gemma M0. Whoops, let me get it onto the screen there. And then in the back, if you can see lights coming through, there's a NeoPixel strip connected to the Halloween. So I can kind of show that, but there's a speaker back there.
Yeah, we can see the lights. Get those dots. We love those dots.
Yeah. So that's that one. That's model SKT M3, skeleton thing number 3.
Okay, well, the only thing that Art is missing is a show and tell sticker. You can put it on the back. That way it doesn't mess up the vibe of the art. But those are excellent. Also, email me pt@adafruit.com if you ever take photos of them. That way I can put them on the blog and include them in our newsletter and all sorts of things.
Yeah, I have a GitHub repo with pictures, so I can send you that link.
Oh, yeah. Email support for the sticker, but email pt with the GitHub.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. A lot of our efforts are art and electronics, so thank you for exactly doing that. Okay.
All right.
Next up.
Thank you. Next up, Juan.
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I'm just a beginner, but my project is basically I don't know if you can say, like a hand.
Yeah, it's a hand.
Yeah, and it's 3D printed, and I make like my own design in Fusion 360. So maybe it has some errors, but anyway, so it's controlled by a stepper motor and a Arduino Mega, which is weird.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of cables and like an Arduino Uno wasn't enough, and I will be controlling the hand with buttons, and then I don't know if it's working.
It's okay. We know it will be pulling and pushing your moves. I'm sure a wire just got loose. It happens when you're holding stuff up. It looks really cool. So it's 3D printed, and you're going to print the other fingers too?
Yeah, like the other fingers, and it's kind of like a hinge, so it just bends. Yeah, exactly.
All right, sweet. Well, it looks awesome. Nice work. Come back again if you want to show it.
It's working.
Oh, yay. Okay.
Right. And then like you stop, and then you like it goes back. No, I don't know.
This is why people always say like robots are going to take over, and I'm like, it's tough. Robots are hard to build.
Yeah.
Like it's working now.
That's cool.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, the other thing that robot.
Thank you.
And so email support@adafruit.com for your show and tell sticker.
Thank you.
All right, JMK.
JMK.
Take it away, but keep it to like a minute or so. Oh, he's gone. He's back. Right.
JMK. Hi.
Yep.
We can't hear you, but we can see your face. You're being detected.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yes, JMK project news project screen. Yeah, we can't hear you. So
we see
but
you.
Your computer is definitely recognizing you.
Yeah, it's definitely like there is a human.
It's a JMK detector. That's our project. It's a JMK
if it's
detector.
a face detector for JMK, it's definitely working.
Let's do maker charades. Okay, so you have a camera, and it's finding you. But is that your project?
Okay, yes, Circuit Playground Express.
Okay.
And it's got a battery pack.
I think the JMK finder has nothing to do with
it. It's probably making sounds, and we can't hear it. Oh, it's lighting up. It's a night light. Okay. And then, different light modes. Okay, little colors. You can select them. Looks nice. Yeah, purple, blue. Ooh, rainbow. Flicker. So it's like a make code. You think you did a make code color picker.
Okay. 5 syllables.
5 syllables. Okay. And then you plug it in. And then in make code.
It's a log.txt. And it looks like tilt. He's doing tilt stuff.
It's a bike light that detects when you're turning or braking, I think, right?
Maybe.
It's like
We got it. Yay.
Yay, because see, it says bike detect. You know, I didn't know that make code had logging. We should.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Did you tell us how you did that?
Yeah, it's kind of cool, because I didn't know that you could do that. That's kind of neat. Oh my God, you wrote it all in JavaScript?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Awesome. There's a storage module. I did not know about. That's new. Okay, cool.
All right.
All right, so I learned something because I didn't know that was available.
Yeah.
But that's really sweet. Okay, well, thanks for coming by. We'll send you a sticker you can put on your bike.
Yep.
Or on your light. And thanks for, it's a cool, I learned a lot. So I'm glad we got to you.
All right. Okay.
All right, thanks,
well, that is our show and tell this week.
Okay,
Thank you, everybody.
JP, can you just boop us a little bit while we...
No, that's Phil B.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
Phil B. Sorry.
We'll see everybody next week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for making this the best 27 minutes of our week every single week.
The most boops.
We will have this not only on YouTube, but we'll do a recap on Ask an Engineer.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.